Okay, today we're looking at gratitude in an empire of contempt. Welcome back to the channel, The Quiet Signal. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all your support. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe, and share anything. I'm always looking for feedback. The title of today's topic is Gratitude in an Empire of Contempt. This is taken from notes that I had left for myself. I will take video or audio, voice memos, personal vlogs, and then I plug that into the robot, the chat GPT or whichever AI I am playing with that day in order to organize my thoughts, and then it spits out the script that I'm reading from today, along with my own personal commentary added on the side of it. So to jump right in, no further ado, let's take a look here. So I've been reflecting lately on the importance of gratitude, how necessary it is to truly appreciate what we have in life. Gratitude is a kind of moral anchor. It roots us in clarity, sanity, and strength, but gratitude must also be rightly placed. It was in that state of mind that I was thinking about the sacredness of thankfulness that I happened to watch The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. He was interviewing Matt Smith, famous for Doctor Who, I believe. But the reason Matt Smith was on Fallon was to promote the House of Dragon TV show, which I had seen and wasn't particularly entertained. I don't believe I finished the entire show. I maybe watched the first season and maybe a little bit of the second or something. In fact, I found that it was absolute cultural degradation, especially if you compare it to Game of Thrones. It took steps back. It was clear and obvious that it was not made by the same people or with the same inspiration. So I would label it as a cultural degradation for sure, I think. That was probably what I was complaining about. The entire segment was grotesque, with Jimmy Fallon interviewing Matt Smith. That segment was grotesque. Fallon's manner was simpering. Smith's attitude was dismissive and smug. When Fallon asked if Smith was caught up on the new season, Smith scoffed and said no. He laughed and added, "Don't bother," which is very funny. That you would say something about your own show when promoting it. The audience laughed, Fallon laughed, but it wasn't funny in the way, like, if you read through it, it wasn't meant to be funny. It was a joke. It was a true slight against the show disguised as a joke. It was a ritual of contempt. Smith mocked the very show he was invited to promote. Fallon, the host, folded into himself like a wilted paper cup. That's the robot's analogy, I think, not mine. The person I was watching it with turned to me and asked, "Are they flirting?" Because Fallon kind of has that fake, flirtatious personality where everything is clearly fake and just meant to flatter the guest. His laugh is notoriously labeled as being fake. So that's kind of what we've come to. The Tonight Show, one of the last remaining symbols of American mass culture, reduced to self-humiliation and irony poisoning. And it's worth asking, what does this say about the empire that we live in? Once upon a time, the premise was simple. A man works a full day. He gives his time, his strength, his energy to the system, to his employer, to his family. He comes home, he makes dinner, washes dishes, checks in on his children, and ensures his home is in order. All right. And then for one precious hour, he gets to sit down. He gets 1 hour of peace, 1 hour of cultural reward. That 1 hour is his. I wonder if how much of my heart is lost with what the robot does. But that's exactly right. The premise was simple, that you work the full day, you put in your life force, and your reward are these shows. I mean, these people are hardworking. That's the importance of comedy or entertainment, is to distract from the suffering of life And that's why it's important to have quality entertainment and valuable entertainment. And these late night shows used to be a staple of the American popular culture. Like they were foundational in terms of deciding, or they, like, the tastemakers of the late night show hosts were incredibly valuable, I think, to American culture at one point. And seeing those institutions be degraded into what they are, as evidenced by this particular interview with Matt Smith, is unsettling. And so that was the unspoken agreement. You give your labor, your loyalty, your life to the country, and in return, the culture gives you something worthwhile, the culture of that country, something beautiful, something funny, true, and celebratory. Instead, what do you get? We get cultural elites mocking the very culture they are paid to represent. We get television hosts groveling before condescension, right? That being Fallon. Fallon is groveling, as Smith is being condescending. We get entertainment that sneers at the audience for watching it. What was once a reward for the working man has become a form of punishment, a ritual of humiliation. We are told to be grateful for a government that neglects our borders, grateful for values that are inverted and erased, grateful for cities that are no longer safe, families that are broken, traditions that are shamed. We are told to be grateful for an empire that ships our jobs overseas, sends our sons to die in endless wars on behalf of foreign power, poisons our cities with fentanyl, and our children with ideology. An empire that laughs when we suffer, lectures when we grieve, and offers Jimmy Fallon when we've earned Johnny Carson. We are told to be grateful for this, and somehow we are. But this is not gratitude, it is submission, it is resignation masquerading as virtue, and if we are ever to reclaim what was good, true, and beautiful, the culture we once had, and then the first step is not gratitude, it's rejection. Rejection of the humiliation ritual, rejection of the contempt, rejection of the circus of irony that calls itself entertainment. Then and only then can gratitude be real again. So I've enjoyed doing these. Taking my notes, just my schizophrenic rambling when I'm frustrated on a commute or something, and then I just throw it into the robot. Robot spits out something like this and kind of articulates my points in a clear and concise way instead of me freaking out and spurging all over the place. So thanks for listening to it. I appreciate it. Sorry if it's a little harsh. Sorry if you're I don't mean for it to be offensive. I think that it's probably true and fair on whatever lane of belief you believe in. I think that it's a valuable critique, or that there's something that resonates with all people in this. So I don't mean to be any sort of offensive. I have no agenda, I guess. These are just my thoughts, and so now I'm probably undercutting my own words with that, but I appreciate you making it this far. Comment below spaghetti ravioli if you made it to the end of the video. I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless. Like, subscribe, all the nonsense. I'm trying to do a video once a week. I'll cut it up in the YouTube shorts so that you find it in the algorithm. Let me know how you found it, how you found the video, and that's all.